Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Good evening / late morning, Cavs fans, and welcome to the fourth loss in a row for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but also the Block the Shot to Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast brought to you by Blue Wire Pods. All three of us are here tonight, late tonight, stayed up for some March Madness. We don't want to talk about that either. I'm Tim Daniel. He's Skylar Webker. He's Kevin Lynch. And tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers suffered their fourth straight loss to the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant's 42-point performance, where they make a nice run at the end of the game, but it was not enough as they lose by double digits. And I texted you guys that I thought this was probably the worst game of the season so far. And it looks better because of the run they made at the end of the game. But I'm still standing by that. So, Kevin, you said you had something nice to say about this evening's game.
Sort of about the game. All right. So one thing we can all agree on, even in this moment, something that's awesome is Cavs fans, right? Cavs fans are awesome. We love Cavs fans. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Dan. He went to the game tonight, and I want to tell a story. He lives in Phoenix. They only come there once a year. He's like, I'm going and I'm buying more expensive tickets than I want to just because I want to see him close and everything. So he's going to the game, spends hundreds of dollars on tickets. Well, Dan has a Tesla that was recalled yesterday, and he lives an hour away from where Phoenix's arena is. So this guy literally went to get a rental car this morning so he could, and he was going on taking a date to the game. That's why he couldn't like Uber and everything. Went and got a rental car this morning, paid however much for that just to go to the Cavs game and cheer them on, and then had to see a game like this. And if there's two things Dan loves, is the Cavs and cats. These are the only two things I know he likes for sure. And so I just want to give a shout out. Cavs fans are awesome. I'm sorry you had to endure.
Shouts out to Dan.
Yeah.
Going through all of that just to watch this. And even on the broadcast, in the beginning of the game, and I think Brad or John said it on the broadcast that there was a louder like applaud and hooting and hollering for the Cavs and shoot around and stuff like that than there were for Phoenix. A lot of that probably has to do with how Phoenix season's going and how Cavs seasons is going. But boy, a lot of disappointed fans left that arena.
Yeah. So let's just get to it, fellas. Let's just air the grievance. It's Festivus tonight on the Block the Shot to Stop because we haven't had a losing streak this long all year. Tonight was terrible. Tonight was absolutely bad. First quarter looked pretty promising. It was a close game, 35-34 at the end of the first. Second quarter, they scored 17 total offensive points as a team during the quarter. So that was rough. Yeah. Lost 27-17 in that quarter. Third quarter, give up their second 30-point scoring quarter of the game. A 36-28 advantage for Phoenix. And the fourth, Cleveland does finally get a nice advantage in a quarter, but it was too little too late, as we said, with a 33-25 advantage. The Cavs came into this game as 8-point favorites, and they did not live up to that. We had to deal with the fact that Kevin and I literally the other day flat out just made fun of Phoenix and how bad their season's been. Like, talked about how much of a nightmare it's been. And then tonight, Cleveland comes out and plays like this against them. And it's like, son of a bitch. So that was annoying. I want to start with defense tonight.
All right, we can start there.
Yeah, I think that's, or lack thereof, I should say, defense. Look, Kevin Durant, 42 points. That's not shocking. He's Kevin Durant. He's one of the 10 greatest basketball players to ever walk the earth. So
first ballot Hall of Famer.
Two-time Finals MVP. Like, you get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Kevin Durant has a game like that. Skylar, where I'm annoyed is the situations where it's like Ryan Dunn takes Darius Garland off the dribble right to the rim for a dunk. No help defense whatsoever. Colin Gillespie, who his game is strictly shooting threes, is sitting by himself on the wing getting threes. Also, Iguodaro, like the Cavs got beat last night by 3 guys who are 4-year college basketball players. Okay, like that's what happened tonight. So that's where I am annoyed. Colin Gillespie, one of my least favorite college basketball players of all time, mind you, because he was just very annoying to watch have to cover for 4 years at Villanova. Osi Iguodaro, I don't really mind him as much. He's pretty cool, and Ryan Dunn's pretty cool too. But those 2 dudes, and then Durant and Booker is who you were playing against tonight, and they flat out just cooked the Cavs tonight. It was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, you look up and down the plus minus, and everybody knows I'm a huge plus minus person. Even, you look at Evan Mobley, double tonight with a block and a steal. That's good production. Still a -9 because just the defense up and down the roster, completely atrocious. Just absolutely unbelievably atrocious tonight. Guys were wide open. The rebounding efforts weren't there. The just closeout efforts weren't there. Man, this might be the worst defensive game we've seen all year from the Cavs.
Kevin.
Yes.
We know the Cavaliers. You and I talked about this a few weeks ago in one of the games. I can't remember which one necessarily. This is a team that really is really good at 50-50 balls. This is a team that really tracks them down. This is a team that doesn't let them get away from them. There were multiple times tonight I can count on Darius Garland, like half-assing a 50-50 ball that just gets right by him. And then, we got freaking Colin Gillespie hanging out by himself getting the ball. So that was annoying. Like I already mentioned, Ryan Dunn taking Garland off the dribble. I'm not trying to just necessarily pick on Garland because they all played bad tonight defensively. But that was rough. It just felt like defensively, what picked up from that Sacramento game that we talked about the other day, just kept here. Communication, not there. Help defense, not a thing. They were atrocious defensively tonight.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point, and one of the things I wrote down was the Suns had 3 starters who collectively averaged less than 13 points a game.
Yeah.
and you lost to a team like that. It's really tough. The other thing I wrote down about the Cavs starters, I mean, you're right, and we'll get into the defense. Couldn't be more right about that. And the effort, a lot of times, really until the fourth quarter, they started scrambling and everything in the fourth quarter. But just the offense tonight was terrible. The starters, the regular 5 starters all started tonight. They averaged 87 points a game combined. Tonight they had 56, and they had a sprint to 56 the last handful of minutes of the game. So you're not going to win many games when your starters are over 30 points below their average. Every single one of the 5 starters scored below their average. Pretty much all of them shot below their average except for Strus as far as field goal percentage. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to find positive in this game other than a few guys on the bench I thought, played well. I mean, you can look up and down a lot. You look up and down through the stat sheet and see that a lot of the bench guys seem to contribute more than the starters. And yeah, I mean, for a team that is coming in tonight was tied for their longest losing streak of the year, you would have thought there'd be a little bit more, effort and focus from the outset. And it seemed like that it definitely wasn't there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So you mentioned the offense and how bad things went. Guys, there were more Mary J. Blige commercials tonight than Donovan Mitchell made field goals.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks so much. I mean, this slump is just it's infuriating first off, but obviously like everybody goes through slumps. That's fine. But this slump is getting longer and longer. And I mean, this one is the worst of them all. I mean, 2 for 18 on the night with a missed field goal. So even when you got to the line, you still weren't able to capitalize.
And I don't know what the answer is other than Mitchell just like suddenly starting to play better again, right? Like, because, if you logged on to any Cavs social media tonight, it was all like bench Mitchell. You don't just bench Mitchell in the middle of a game like that. That's he's the leader of this team, arguably the best player, if not the second best player. You do not just like put that guy on the pine for any other reason than injury or, something along those lines. So, but I don't know. I mean, and it's for him and Kenny and the coaches have to figure out, like, is it he needs the run and needs to get back in rhythm? Is the groin or something else bothering him? And it's better to sit him down for a week and just give him a whole week off and then let him come back for, the stretch before the playoffs. It's a tough one because I don't know what it's obviously it's obviously bad and actually got worse tonight than it had been the last few games, but I don't really know what the answer is.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something else I don't do often on this show, guys. I'm gonna criticize Darius Garland for a second. Everyone had a bad night, so I'm not trying to single guys out by any means for their bad nights because we know, but I feel like for doing the show we have a right, as much as we sing their praises on a night-to-night basis, to also have, when they have nights like this, be able to be fairly critical. Completely hated his shot decisions tonight. Completely hated him. There's one stretch in particular in the third quarter where it's back-to-back. He has this, he drives to the paint, tries to get this lay-in where he goes underneath the rim with the opposite hand, bounces off the rim. It's like, okay, what are you doing there? And then literally the next possession catches the ball in like a handoff basically from DeAndre Hunter and just chucks up this 32-footer. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing tonight, man? Don't be wrong. Looked really good in the run in the fourth quarter when they were making their comeback. But frustrating Garland game tonight for sure, because normally you can at least count on him. Okay, maybe it's not scoring. Maybe it's not hitting his threes, but, he's getting to the paint. He's playmaking. You didn't see a lot of that tonight whatsoever.
I saw one thing with Garland. Skylar, I don't know if you agree. It seemed like he let the refs or something get to him tonight. He's animated on the court often, but tonight he seemed uncomposed, which I'm not 100% sure is a word, but we're gonna go with it. And I just thought he was making bad decisions because he wasn't just normal Darius Garland focus playing within himself and the flow of the game. I don't know. Did you see that, Skylar, or was it just me?
I mean, this seems to be something that's been going on for a while now. It seems like Darius Garland hasn't been able to put together 4 consistent quarters for a pretty good stretch. I mean, it seems like the whole team's like that, honestly. They'll put it together an amazing first quarter and then just flame out the last 3, or they'll tonight kind of middle around for 3 quarters and then finally decide, oh yeah, we're going to turn it on in the fourth quarter. So I think that's getting to a lot of guys. I can't imagine the refs because the refs weren't terrible tonight. I mean, by far not the worst officiating we've seen this season.
This week.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's why it stuck out to me more, because I didn't see any problem with the refs tonight. I mean, I thought they, for the most part, let both teams play. The fouls were low on both sides. I mean, you're going to get guys who always think they get fouled and everything, but for as animated as Garland was, you would have thought it was a much poorer officiated game.
Correct.
Yeah, I agreed. I figured that Kenny was pissed, Skylar, when he brought Javonte Green in the middle of the third quarter. I think that was when he was like, all right, I've had enough.
Well, I think that was, and we'll talk about this at the end of the game, but Allen took a really hard shot from Durant. It looked like in the face, and he didn't come back in. That was toward the end of the third quarter. That's when they brought Javonte Green in because he never wants to mess with the regular rotation. He had just taken Mobley out for his, 4, 5, 6 minutes of rest. And so he didn't want to put Mobley right back in, and he wanted to get out. And Javonte he wasn't terrible. He wasn't amazing either, but I don't know. I thought overall, the defensive effort was poor throughout the team, but particularly with the starters. Actually was kind of okay with the bench's effort tonight.
Me too.
They also had 56 points, so they matched the starters there. They far outscored the bench of the Suns. So I think the problem was, unfortunately, with the most key players on the Cavs tonight.
Yeah. The core 4 letting us down, and that's a weird thing to say. And with this slumping and losing streak, do you guys think they need to change up the offense in the sense of not being so heavy or reliant on 3-point shot, even though you're a great 3-point shooting team? I don't know. Do you want to just see basket go through hoop, get
Yeah.
confidence, then start backing out?
I think you tweak. I don't think you change. I don't think you tweak it. Like maybe you do run a couple of different offensive sets or like lean on some that are more seem to be more effective. I wouldn't mind not even like reducing minutes or anything, but just changing up the rotation a little bit. Not sitting Mobley and Mitchell at the same time all the
Right.
time. You know,
Yeah.
maybe try a few different lineup combinations. Like Skylar and I talked about when we did a pod earlier in the week about like some of the things we'd like to see kind of towards the end of the year when we assumed the first place in the East was a done deal. And they aren't doing any of that. They are playing like the exact same rotations they always play when everyone's healthy. And for the most part, even when they're missing a guy or two, I wouldn't mind. I don't want to see obviously a wholesale change or anything, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of lineup tweaks, mix and match what starters play together when the other ones are on the bench, try a couple different combinations with the bench guys. But like you don't want to you're still after this week, you're still 56-14. You don't want to go like trying to, change everything.
Yes. 64-18 still sounds like it could be really, really a possibility and still be really nice. So it's hard to be too mad because of the year they've had. I feel like they earned the right to have a week where things just didn't go their way. But also,
it's just unfortunate that Boston's on a 4-game winning streak as you're on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a 5-game lead with 12 to play. You still think it's
going to take a lot. Yeah.
But I mean, to your point, Tim, about I think a lot of the effort thing tonight, I don't want to pin it on one particular person, one particular group. I think it was mostly starters. I saw Sam Merrill flying around, giving great effort. Not saying it was his best game in the world. I saw Dean Wade doing the same.
DeAndre Hunter.
I thought Ty Jerome had a very good game tonight, and actually would have liked to see him play a little bit more than the 19 minutes he did, especially with Garland and Mitchell struggling as much as they were. So yeah, I think a lot of it, I mean, it's very rare for us to say this, but yeah, it is that, I say the starters because I throw Strus in, but core 4 plus Strus, I thought were all frankly bad tonight for long stretches of the game.
Yeah. I mean, Mobley had some nice moments, but he was not very good tonight. The block on Durant was pretty cool. I think it was a block.
That was pretty cool. Jared Allen had maybe the dunk of the year in the first.
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah,
which was amazing. But so we'll shine a light on these little things in a mostly dark night.
Yeah. But real quick, we will shine one more thing. I do want to make sure we mention the Virginia twins, Ty Jerome, and DeAndre Hunter. I thought were both terrific tonight. Really kind of. When the game was close, they kept a minute. Hunter had another awesome shooting night. Ty Jerome was great. He was our prop back today, so we at least got that tonight, right? We at least got a bet victory. So that's good. Maybe one of these days when I actually have free time, because I know we had like an up and down with doing it. I'll actually go through and see like how many we got right through the season. Let's see if I ever get that free time. But I thought those two were the two best players for the team tonight.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the bench. I thought pretty much every bench guy at least had good moments, if not a good game. I thought Okoro made
he was really good.
Some good plays tonight. He had the crazy. I can't believe they allowed that shot at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really frustrating that I don't know what I don't know if this is it, but I don't know if not playing as well offensively when they're so used to playing that well offensively is affecting their defense or something. But in the last 3 games, the Magic game, I kind of gave that as a throwaway game.
Yeah, I did too.
You lose as a 16-game streak. I'm much more focused on the 3 they've lost in the last 4 days. They're giving up 126 points a game. The Cavs lead the league at 121 points a game. So they're literally giving up 5 points more than the highest scoring team in the NBA. And it's a 3-game stretch. I understand it's small, but it's against some of the we'll say middle of the road or worse teams in the league too. So
we didn't even mention against the Kings the other night. They didn't even have Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine sat that night out because he was going to play. It was
back-to-back.
Yeah, because it was back-to-back that they were playing the Bulls the next night. So that was a frustrating thing. The Clippers, you're not shocked when the Clippers have a night like they had that night with Kawhi and James Harden and their ability to do things. It's Chris Dunn kicking your ass that really annoys me. Yeah. And then tonight there's just kind of. Again,
Brian Dunn kicking your ass.
Yeah.
God, I will forever be mad about that dunk. That dunk will like never leave my brain.
Well, and the other thing is because some people will say like, Kevin Durant had an amazing game and kind of write that off. Durant hasn't been that great this year. Let me tell you, his stats and everything will look fine, but this 42 points, this is the most he scored since December 21st and the second most he scored all season. This has been his most inefficient season possibly of his career, at least since early in his career. And to have him shoot, 60% and just torch you for 42 points, frankly, you can't write that off because he frankly hasn't done that to anybody all year for the most part. So while it may seem like just something that happens when it's a player that great, it's not that. It's an anomaly for what his season has been.
Yeah, same with Devin Booker. Devin Booker has not been good this year and had a decent night tonight against the Cavs with so what do you have? He had 17 and 10. Shot meh, but he was playmaking tonight. He was doing his thing. Also, can we just mention that they were out Bradley Beal, which doesn't mean anything. Nick Richards, their starting center. Monte Morris, their backup point guard. They were down Bol, who they've had playing like major minutes for a little bit there. They were down like 6 guys tonight, and they still did this against the Cavs. Not great, Bob.
Does it like hurt more when like the Cavs have been pretty healthy? And I know there's been some ticky-tack stuff lately, but like they are full squad tonight. There's full squad.
Jalen Tyson was the only inactive tonight.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. That definitely hurts because like Sunday you wrote off because Mobley didn't play. They lost a close game to a decent team who I think their best players didn't play. The thing that, and it kind of drives home your point about both your points about the effort and everything tonight. The Suns are one of maybe the worst rebounding team in the whole NBA. They only average 42 rebounds a game. They out-rebounded the Cavs by 9 tonight. They had 54 to 45 rebounding advantage.
Yeah.
When they basically are on their 6th-string center. It's frankly that's unacceptable when you have the whole Cavs squad. That's effort, that's focus, and that's frankly one of, in a night of unflattering stats, that's the one that maybe hurts the most to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, before we move to Utah, anything else you guys want to touch in this game? I know it's late at night and we want to...
They better not lose to Utah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we can move on to the Utah Jazz for the second matchup here. The Cavs' chance to sweep their 13th team of the season. So there is that, at least going for them. Yes, you're right, Kev. They better not lose to Utah. Not only because Utah's bad, so to put in context, the Cavaliers are 56-14. The Utah Jazz are 14-56. Here are all the players currently inactive for the Utah Jazz: Jordan Clarkson, John Collins, Elijah Harkless, Taylor Hendricks, Lauri Markkanen, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jaden Springer. We just talked about this with Phoenix, and this seems obviously worse than Phoenix, but still, that's 7 guys are out, including maybe their best shooter. Their 2 best shooters in Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson. So, Kevin, do you know who leads the Utah Jazz right now in points per game?
Is it George? Is it?
No.
Okay.
I would accept that as a correct answer, or Markkanen even. It's Colin Sexton at 18.1 points a game.
Okay.
You know who's their leader in assists per game right now?
If you're playing me, I don't know, like Walter Kessler or something.
No, he leads in rebounds, but that's to be expected. Isaiah Collier has averaging 6 assists a game.
Oh yeah, I did know that. I didn't.
Yeah. Now, don't be wrong. I loved Isaiah Collier in college, but he should not be your leading assist man. My point is, for the love of God, do not lose this game. Donovan Mitchell going back to Utah to play his old team. Get the dub. Just take care of business here. Don't play with your food in this one. Don't F around and find out. Just go in there, take care of business. Because your next, as Kevin mentioned again after the Sacramento game, your next 4 games are, I shouldn't say favorable because of the way things are going, but favorable. Portland. You have that coming up. After that, you've got, hold on, I'm pulling the schedule right now as we speak. You've got San Antonio, who have no one left on the season. And you've got Detroit on Friday, which is your toughest game in that stretch. So find a way to put some wins back together. Start right here in this matchup against a crummy Utah Jazz team who wants to lose also.
They very much. They're one of two teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that we're 12 games away and only two teams have been eliminated from the playoffs, Utah and New Orleans. So they are playing for literally nothing. You need to right the ship, get some confidence back in you guys, start getting some confidence back in the fans, keep your 5-game distance from Boston. Just win. That is the only ask.
Yes, that is indeed the only ask. I think with that being said, we can go and close out tonight's episode of the Block the Shot to Stop. Guys, we talked about it the other night. I'm frustrated. Skylar's frustrated. Kevin's frustrated. It's going to be okay. They're still a very, very good basketball team. Teams go through this. Every team that's not like the LeBron Wade Heat. No, they went through it actually. The darn Golden State Warriors and the 90s Chicago Bulls. Other than that, and maybe the 2000s Lakers. Other than that, every team goes through this. It happens. They're going to be okay.
You'd rather them go through this now than be in a playoff series and get either swept or gentleman's sweep or whatever.
Yeah.
Get this losing out now.
These 4 teams they've lost to, you would not pick against the Cavs in a playoff series whatsoever. So don't worry about when they lose to them once. But as always, thank you guys for checking us out, whether it's to YouTube or on your podcast have a choice, whether it's your first time or you're listening to every episode. We are definitely grateful for that as well. As always, please give us a nice solid 5-star review. Please also give us a subscription to your YouTube on the YouTube channel. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube as well. Helps us out in the algorithm. We will be back Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and say it, guys. Guarantee we're talking about a win Sunday against the Utah Jazz.
You just guaranteed a loss right there.
Yeah. From somebody who's not going to be on the pod on Sunday. That's real brave.
That's true. But on behalf of Skylar Webker, on behalf of Kevin Lynch, thank you all so much for hanging out with us on this late episode of the Block the Shot to Stop. We'll be back on Sunday. Until then,
go Cavs.
Go Cavs.